importantly, a firm believer of the single pot revolution. Now, this revolution really makes life tolerable in these troubled times. You need to get smart, get innovative, and cook everything in a pot so it makes life so much more easier. To get more of these hacks, don't forget to subscribe and more importantly, hit on the bell icon for many more of these. In today's cooking, I'm going to go way back and create the forefather of the single pot revolution. While we all know a mac and cheese, let's get to creating the non-veg version. That's a mac and mince, everything in a pot coming together, making this lockdown lovely to endure. Out here I'm using a lot of spices just to boost your immunity. So I've got 6 cloves, 4 cardamom and a stick of cinnamon going in. And we're going to dry roast that along with a teaspoon of black peppercorns. Just dry roast it all together in our pan along with a teaspoon of cumin. And more importantly, something that I love and sense this really well is my fennel seeds. So nearly a teaspoon, or go as liberal as you can handle. Dry roast all this together and just pound it and use it. Now if your cast iron pan is nice and hot, this dry roast really fast and you don't want to burn this, but you want to just experience the sense. So as you get a strong whiff of everything coming into your kitchen, this is ready to cool down and just coarsely pound it, or if you're lazy like me, just blitz it in your food processor. Creating this mac and mince is really very simple, and if you allow everything to cook in a pan, you need to just spend 30 minutes stirring occasionally. So into my cast iron, nice and hot, I've used about 20 mils of cooking olive oil along with nearly 50 grams of butter. You want this to melt and flavor the entire pot. And into that goes 8 cloves of garlic finely minced along with 1 inch of ginger, because you want the heat when you're working with mince, especially tenderloin, along with 4 chipotle chilies finely minced. Just allow all this to saute together, permeating the air around you and more importantly, just beginning the entire season. I tell you, single pots really warrant an entire season because it's how you get experimentative and more importantly, it just makes life so much more simpler. So into this goes 3 red onions finely minced, and we're just going to saute them till they turn a slight golden brown. Seven minutes of allowing this to saute and sweat. It's got that slight hue, but you do not want to brown it because you want the flavors to just subtly marry into each other. But it's a personal choice. And finally, in goes that spice blend that we hand pounded. So just put everything in and allow the whole thing to mix and bask in the glory that these spices bring into your kitchen. With this done, you want it to cook along with the mince. So out here I'm using tenderloin mince and I'm using 500 grams of it. You can go right ahead and use any mince that suits your fancy. You can use chicken mince, you can use lamb mince, you can use mutton mince, or just even use some vegetable soy granules into it and create this version. It's so versatile. Break it down. Pound it rather, so that it breaks down evenly and browns on the highest possible flame. While the meat turns from that raw reddish hue to this caramel brown color, just enabling you to know that it's cooked, it's time now to season this, and I'm using a rosemary lavender sea salt out here just to scent it and take this stylish creation to the next level. After this step, it's all about dunking everything in, bringing it to a boil, and then adding the macaroni into it. It's so simple. A quick stir, and with that task nearly completed, and I like to say it sometimes so the family at home knows that I really work at it, In goes 400 grams of my tomato sauce. Now, if you do not have this on hand, just use 200 grams of tomato puree along with 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and about 200 mils of tomato chopped or blanched. Anything, just use it at this stage and create the same result. A quick stir, allowing it all to come together, and just simmer away on the highest possible flame. When you do use my tomato sauce, and the recipe of the same is found in the basics, you get great chunks of tomato-y goodness into this. So you can omit that also and just go right ahead and use blanched tomatoes or chopped tomatoes as well. With that done, into this entire creation goes in nearly a liter of tenderloin stock, or if you're as lazy as me in creating this single pot revolution, you can just take a liter of water, put in 4 cubes of any flavoring, that is those bouillon cubes that you get, and create the same result. Now you need to bring this to a rapid boil and then just drop in the macaroni. Most often people wonder that mac and mince is done dime a dozen, but you can always style it up to the next level. That spice blend that I added in gives you that immunity boost, and the joke is the family doesn't even know what they're having. So when you get this to a nice robust boil, in goes 250 grams of elbow pasta or macaroni. Give it a quick stir. Bring it to a boil again and then simmer it, but stir it occasionally for nearly 15 minutes to 20 minutes on the slowest possible flame so that it just about gets done. Halfway through the process, when you want to scent it, let's elevate it with some herbs. 8 minutes into cooking this, and you can see how the liquid gets absorbed by the macaroni, and now is the time to add one kind of flavoring. So I've taken basil leaves, just juliennated them, and we're going to dunk that in so that it flavors this entire pot and scents everything together. So stirring occasionally, another 8 minutes, and your mac and mince is ready. Care must be taken to always remember in a single pot creation that you have the perfect blend of nutrients and micronutrients present. So while this is nearly ready, I've taken a can of fava beans, nearly 250 grams of it, and I'm just going to give this entire creation a protein overload. Mix everything in, stir it, and if you find it getting too dry, this is the time to give it a splash of nearly 100 mils of hot water. Or if you want to get experimentative, at this stage you can just gluck in some red wine to style it up to the next level. We are going to cook this for another minute to a minute and a half. Garnish it with some cilantro and sprinkle some cheese on top. This is nearly ready, and the trick to this is it will cook with its residual heat. So I'm going to just slather in some freshly chopped cilantro, nearly 2 to 3 tablespoons of the same, along with some grated parmesan. Now this is totally optional, but it just adds to that cheesy goodness in a mac and mince. So 30 grams of grated parmesan, give it a quick toss and a stir, switch off the flame and allow the residual heat to create that magic. It's time to plate and enjoy lunch. Now the beauty of single pot creations are you go right in and enjoy it straight off the pot. And while it does help you in not cleaning too many vessels in this lockdown, it also provides a very nutritionally balanced meal for the family. One of my many single pots coming up. Don't forget to share loads of love by hitting on the like button. And as I always say, stay safe, stay blessed. Don't forget to subscribe and enjoy many more of these.